this work, we investigate the effect of interlayer connectivity, and we propose a residual variant going the azote compressive networks. Why interlayer connectivity is important? There is evidence first on the artificial neural networks literature, where we can observe a transition from feedforward to residual networks. The idea is that we have, we move to multiple architecture that combines short and long connections, and this alters significantly the information flow and gradient dynamics. In practice, this solves the balancing gradients of feedforward that allows for training of deep neural networks that generalize better. There's also some evidence in biological neural networks where there they combine, we know that they combine short and long connections. And interestingly also there, altering the connectivity leads to distinct cognitive profiles. So the popular examples are dyslexia versus. And how? So what is wrong with residual architectures? The problem is that despite the perfect training for deep neural networks, the main problem is that there is a lot of growing evidence that do not use their depth that efficiently. So it has been shown that, for example, during training, when you add a shortcut, it can leave part of the network unused, or the stochastic depth paper shows that during training of resonance, if you drop layers randomly, this helps reduce overfitting. And also it has been shown that during evaluation, dropping or permuting layers can result in similar performance as a full network. So this means that, okay, resonance are perfect for training very deep neural networks, but at the same time, they might not use their layers that efficiently. So what we want to ask is, can we create something better? That on the one hand can have the advantage of residual networks, so we can train deep networks, but at the same time it uses layers more efficiently, and thus this leads to better representational learning. So we propose these auto-compressive networks, essentially starting from a feed-forward without some connections. We add long connections from each output, from each layer output to the ended sample. So what happens is that in feed-forward we have from a layer to the next one only. In a resonance, through residual summation, we have from each layer to all subsequent, and in ACNs, we have from each layer to the next and to the output, so kind of sparse design in between the two of them. This changes the gradient dynamics of the architecture, and we show that it induces implicit layer-wise training dynamics of ACNs. So the idea is that early layers are trained at a faster rate than deeper layers. And the claim is that if these early layers suffice to solve the task, so they minimize the load before the deeper layers start training, then the deeper layers remain redundant, close to the initialization, and we can prune them. So in practice, what we find is that indeed this is the case. So what happens is when you train, after training, the network converges to a solution where an intermediate layer, for example here layer 6, matches the performance of the full residual, like the ACN network, but uses only 6 layers. So you have this kind of redundancy in these deeper layers, where you can prune them at infinite and have only 6-layer network, having the same performance as the 12-layer network. Another interesting thing is that, or the question is, okay, can this architecture allocate layers dynamically based on task difficulty? What we do is we have 2 class, 5 class and 10 class classification, and we show that indeed this architecture uses more layers in the more complex 10 class versus the 5 versus the 2 class. Whereas the residual, it uses the full network depth irrespective of the task at hand, while not being better in terms of performance than the ACN. So overall, we show that indeed this architecture leads to more compact representation, and then the second part is, okay, this more compact representation interestingly also generalize better. We show first on robustness against noise, so we show that the AC grid is more robust against noise, Gaussian and salt and pepper compared to residual, and this gap increases as the level of the noise increases. An intuitive way to think about it is that through short connections in ResNet, the noise essentially transfers through the full network, whereas in ACNs, because you have sparser design, it kind of filters or blocks the noise. And the second one is continual learning, where we show that ACNs reduce forgetting by up to 18%, so they mitigate much better forgetting. And what is really, I would say, the most interesting part is that when you add more layers, ACNs forget less, so it means that when you give the architecture more layers, essentially more capacity, they can use it in a way that they retain more knowledge, which is something like ideal for continual learning. So overall, we propose the ACNs that perform on par with residual architecture, but utilize the network dynamically. And through auto-compression, they learn this compact representation that also generalize better. And limitations in future work is one, resource constraints. So the experiments, I would say, are relatively small scale. So the next step is to scale up experiments and like go to LLMs and training. And the second is that we observe the trade-off between slower training and faster inference. So across experiments, ACNs are trained slower, so maybe double the number of epochs, but this translates to faster inference because through auto-compression, what you can do, for example, here you can cut half of the network and you can have at inference like a 6-layer versus a 12-layer network with the same performance. And on this future work is one direction is the research on how to create some training tricks, optimization tricks specific to ACN, so initialization, normalization, optimizers. And the second is that we have also been exploring, we have some results, to find some smart ways to combine both architectures so you can like resolve this trade-off. So you can get faster training and also the compression.